Hi, my name is Ash Owens, and my Lit Crit vlog is based on the novel Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. My Lit Crit vlog is focused on the one of the main characters, Amy Dunn, and her development as a character from beginning to the end. So, the number one element of Gone Girl that really forced me to enjoy and soak up every line of the book was the genuine emotional roller coaster that it takes you on. Not being able to decide on who was honest, who was a liar, and whether Amy and Nick actually loved each other deep down, or if it was a passionate hatred. After chapters and chapters of building anticipation, getting the ultimate shock halfway through the novel, where we, the reader, are shown that Amy has well and truly gone crazy, is the ultimate dark twist that ultimately got me hooked and locked in for the wild ride that is the remainder of the book. This is my all-time favourite novel because the emotions that the story took me on reminded me of a similar situation that I was in a past relationship, and how that also made me feel a bit crazy, although perhaps not to the same degree as Amy Dunn. The development of her character from beginning to end could not be more contrasting if it tried. The author allows us to begin our journey with Amy by viewing her as Amazing Amy, a happy, loving, lucky, wealthy New York socialite. After her parents named a multi-billion-dollar children's book after her, Amy portrays a lifestyle that lives up to the perfect fiction version of herself. The quote from Nick, "She needed to be Amazing Amy all the time," shows us that the kind of pressure she put on herself was the first alarming recipe for disaster. The first key development for Amy Dunn is when she moves into the cool girl period, where we realize that she puts on an act in her marriage and that her marriage isn't as idyllic as we wish it was after being painted such a perfect picture by the author. To me, the quote, "Men always say that as the defining compliment, don't they? She's the cool girl. Being the cool girl means I am hot, brilliant, a funny woman who adores football, poker, dirty jokes, and burping. Cool girls never get angry. They only smile in a chagrined, loving manner and let their men do whatever they want. Go ahead, shit on me. I don't mind. I'm the cool girl." This quote is perhaps one of the most powerful quotes in the whole novel because the author has gone into such detail to make us understand how Amy feels by tapping into the typical ways women try to impress men in this world. We learn to understand Amy's character on a much more intimate basis, where we learn that she is pretending to be this cool girl figment of a typical man's imagination because she believes that is the only way to keep her marriage happy. I also think that because of this, it makes the quote and Amy a lot more relatable to the female audience, which I think was a key aim for the author in order to make you feel confused once you got to the end of the story and realized how crazy she is. Because although she's up to no good and she's a little bit crazy, well, a lot crazy, you cannot help but empathize and remain on her team anyway. The final overall development of Amy Dunn is the crazy Amy version. Now, I think this is my favorite version of her. I think that the author decided to use short but effective quotes, such as, "For Valentine's Day, I thought I'd buy a gun. I am so much happier now that I'm dead." And, "Nick must be taught a lesson. He has never been taught a lesson." To perhaps show that Amy has gotten to a point where her character is so crazy and psychotic that she can only string together these simple, incredibly short sentences, just show how crazy she's gotten. For example, this quote in particular, "I'm so much happier now that I'm dead," to really show just how long Amy has been unhappy for. To get to a point where this dialogue is genuine, she would have had to go through a lifetime of pain and unhappiness, because anyone getting to that point where they're saying these sorts of things have to have been incredibly unhappy, and it would have to be something a lot deeper than just face value. So the author really brought death into it and that kind of suicidal urge to really force you to understand how miserable she's been pretty much her entire life because of all this pressure she's put on herself. Overall, I feel like the author created 3 versions of Amy to aid in the overall emotional roller coaster of the entire book. Because you are introduced to so many versions of her, it forces you to become confused as to how you can empathize with such a crazy character, which makes the story such a fun journey. Thank you.